Hi everyone, my name is Alicia and I'm back with another video. Today I'll be talking about exploring Peru. So I was traveling Latin America for one whole year and I spent a few weeks exploring Peru, in particular the capital, which is Lima. And Lima is such a cool place to be, so I'm going to share more about my experience. So Lima is the capital of Peru and it's known for some of the best food in Latin America and has some of the top restaurants that are recognized among the world. Definitely Peru is a place to be if you love to eat, and I believe that it has one of the best cuisines in Latin America, and Mexico is definitely up there as well, but Peru is very unique in the sense of its cuisine. It has with a lot of influence when it comes through the fusion of Japanese and Peruvian cuisine, and just the whole country is such a beautiful country in terms of the diversity, the culture, and also the history that it has to offer. So I definitely recommend checking out Peru and definitely stopping in Lima, maybe just for a few days. It doesn't have to be so long. If you are planning to travel to other areas of Peru, I definitely feel like you should stop in Lima. If you are into food, you can spend 2 to 3 days there or even longer, like I did, just exploring and eating my way through the city. So let's get into where to stay in Lima. So the top two neighborhoods are Miraflores and Barranco, and I stayed in Barranco, which is more of hippest, artistic kind of side of the town, and I personally really love Barranco. It had a very cool, calm vibe, whereas Miraflores is more of that city feel, and there's definitely more people and it's more touristic. But I felt like Barranco was more calmer, cafe shops, a lot of artistic and like art murals and really colorful buildings. I stayed in Cocopelli, which was a hostel, and they also do have private accommodation, so I feel like that was definitely a nice place to stay if you are going to stay in Barranco. And then I moved to an Airbnb that was close by because I really liked the area but wanted my own space. So Cocopelli I would recommend if you are planning to stay there as a solo female traveler or just like a solo traveler. You don't have to stay in the dorm. You can also have your private accommodation, but it is a great way to connect with people and meet people if it's your first time being somewhere. And I felt like the community there was really nice and everyone was super friendly and super helpful, and I really liked the area that it was in. And one of my favorite brunch spots, which I would go to every morning, was a cafe called Casa Lola, and that was just like the street down. So that's why I really like that location, is that there's so much you can do in Peru. You can, from surfing to eating to exploring the history. So that's why I feel like Peru is such an amazing destination. Peru, it definitely has some very cool waves, and you know, I would totally like check out all the spots around the coast and maybe even do like a road trip just hitting all the spots in Peru. But when it came to Lima, it had 2 surf spots. One was Waikiki and other one was Playa Macaja. Both of them are surfer friendly if you are a beginner. But one thing just to keep in mind is that you do require a wetsuit, and also depending on what season you go, whether it's a winter month or summer months, that's one thing to keep in mind. But it definitely is a spot where you can surf. If you're in town and you want to catch some waves, you can definitely catch them. I would say they're beginner friendly. It just depends on your experience level and what kind of waves are you looking to surf, but it's definitely possible if you just want to get into the water and paddle out there and catch some waves. So those are, if I wasn't surfing, most of my days were spent eating. Eating at such cool restaurants. There are a lot of cool restaurants in Lima and you can spend weeks just exploring, but definitely my favorite brunch and cafe was Casa Lola. I thought that was very nice. My second to that was Merito for dinner. I loved going there. I went there like twice in the same night. They had like this delicious fish curry. The dessert was really nice. They had pisco sour, which is really known to Peru as a drink, this margarita, and just the food at Maido was just so delicious and so wholesome, which I really enjoyed. And honestly, if I could go back there, just to eat, I definitely would go back to this restaurant. And like, I still have the taste of the food in my mouth. A very popular spot is Central, which actually is one of the best restaurants in the world, so definitely do check that one out. You also have RafaelTomo Asumaki, which is a really cool one as well. It has a very cool vibe and it just has some really good maki. Like, if you just want to grab and go and have a good vibe, I'll definitely check out Asumaki. Siete, Marito, also El Toke restaurant that was on Street Food Latin America, so you should definitely check that out. It's on Netflix, so that was really cool seeing that place. So Isolina was really good as well. I have a whole bunch of restaurants. I will list them down on the link below that you should definitely check out. One of the things to do while you are in Lima, definitely walking around Branco and seeing the art murals and just checking that out. A Parque de Amor, so Park of Love in Miraflores, which is popular, so definitely do check that out. There are definitely a lot of museums. Visit the Laraco Museum and you can definitely get more of an understanding of Peruvian history and art. And alongside, since Lima is very close to the coast, I would definitely explore walking around, walking down the coast and the beach, and you can get from Barranco to Miraflores, and I would say that's probably the most beautiful part of Lima, is that part where you see kind of the coastline and the ocean. It's very beautiful. You have to try ceviche. Like, ceviche is one of the most popular dishes of Peru, and you can try them at any of the restaurants that I mentioned. Isolina, El Toke, Marito, they all have a form of ceviche that you must try, and it's delicious. You know, ceviche is one of the most popular dishes in Peru, and it's so simple, yet it's delicious. So definitely do try ceviche if you are in Peru. The most beautiful part of Peru is the unique cuisine that it has to offer, being decay of the elements of both Japanese and Peruvian cuisines coming together. If you are a solo female traveler traveling to Peru and stopping in Lima, whether it's to get to another place in Peru or just exploring Lima, these are my tips for solo female travelers. I would definitely recommend, first off, when you do land in Peru, make sure you have transportation from the airport to the place you're staying. I would recommend pre-booking this transportation, whether it's through the hostel you're staying or having a trusted taxi driver, whether that's through your Airbnb, do pick you up. The airport is a bit sketchy, so definitely do not just grab a random cab at the airport. For getting around Lima, I would recommend using Uber. I felt like it was pretty safe when it comes to that. Also, I would not walk at night alone. You know, the basic safety tips that you wouldn't do in a new country, of making sure that you're aware of your surroundings, not walking alone at night. Like, if someone's starting to ask you questions of whether you're alone or not, and they're not a solo traveler themselves, that you haven't met in the hostel, I would just say that you're here with a friend and you're with someone, so don't think that you're alone, just for safety reasons. I felt like in Peru in general and Lima, knowing a bit of Spanish is definitely helpful. Just the simple phrases, these can be really helpful in terms of communicating with locals, ordering your food, getting to where you need to be. For a SIM card, I used Movistar. That just helped me stay connected and have data no matter where I went, so I always had that extra layer of safety. Also, I would recommend researching what seasons that you are planning to visit Lima. The summer months and the eastern side, so for them, their coldest months are June, July, August, and September can be chilly, but the winter months, it's like December, January, February are actually their summer months. So keeping that in mind when you do travel Lima is the temperature, and it actually is cold. When I was there in July, I was freezing because the humidity is so high, and it's also near the coastline, and they just don't have heating inside the buildings. It's usually just your room, so that's one thing to keep in mind. So definitely do dress warm and use layers. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you travel to Peru and explore such a beautiful country it is. Eat delicious food, surf some waves, and just enjoy yourself. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Bye for now.